Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Suffer Up podcast with Nate and Ryan. We are coming at you today with an episode entitled Take the Vacation. As you can tell here from my backdrop, if you're watching on YouTube, I am on vacation visiting my family here in Wisconsin. And it has been a great season of rest and being able to spend time with family and friends. And I know Ryan also has spent some time away. So we're going to talk about prioritizing that intentional time while on vacation and with family and friends. Before we get started, though, we want to just give a very special thank you and shout out to our sponsors. Our first and the very first sponsor that we've had with the channel is Soft Socks. Soft Socks makes a compression fitting toe sock for your feet. We love them on all of our long runs and outdoor adventures. They hug your foot in all the right places in compression fitting to help prevent blisters and also promote good foot health. If you'd like to try a pair, you can use discount code SUFFER10 to receive 10% off at checkout. And we are also very excited to welcome to the lineup 55 Miles anti-chafing lubricant and blister blocking cream. They make everything from blister blocker cream to sunscreen to chapstick to anti-chafing cream, and I have used all of it, and we have thoroughly enjoyed using it. It is natural and safe for your skin, and it stands up to the hot heat that we are putting in the miles right now. If you'd like to get a hold of some and try it for yourself, you can use discount code SUFFERUP to receive 20% off at checkout. And then the last one that we have also, and we're very excited about, is Muckender's Wipes. Muckenders makes a large towelette made out of natural ingredients that is good for your skin. It will remove any grease, grime, dirt, sand, or just the sunscreen or 55 miles that you have on your body after the run or race. And it is awesome. We love it. And we keep them in our truck and around the house. If you'd like to try some Muckender's wipes, you can use discount code SUFFERUP. All of our sponsors and affiliates will be linked in the description of this podcast below. And you can click on that. It will go to our link tree. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We're excited to talk about this topic. And yeah. So vacation. Um as we
Yeah.
Ryan, let's go ahead and share some of the vacations that you've recently taken.
No, man, it's okay. We don't have to talk about it
Oh,
now.
I
I'm
think
just
you should
kidding.
share it.
Um,
So before yeah, like
uh,
vacations, man. I mean, we're so it's a lot of times we don't like to take them or we don't prioritize them, but they are very important. Um, and I heard something recently about the word vacation, and you should just call it family adventures. I kind of like that. And so, yeah, go ahead
that's a
and share
good
some of
name
your
for it.
vacations and that you've done recently.
Yeah. Man, my wife Cindy and I we went to North Carolina. We went camping in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Just the two of us, which was awesome. And then we got to go see some volcanoes in Hawaii, which was outstanding. Um, and then went back to North Carolina again with the whole family and spent a long weekend up there. And it's been so refreshing to spend so much time in nature, but also kind of away from
Yeah,
responsibilities. There's pros and cons to that. We'll
yeah,
talk about that in this episode, but it really has just been a nice reset that has allowed me to kind of get back on track with where I want to be in everything. It gives you time to all the things that you say you don't have time for throughout your normal work week, you no longer have that excuse. So
yeah.
vacation's your reset for
That's true.
everything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I felt this year too, especially we hit the vacations hard this year. And to your point too, when you go on vacation, you're like, "Oh, this is so great! I need a vacation," and then you take it, and then at the end of the vacation, you're like, "Okay, I'm ready to get back to the grind, get back to the daily life." It almost makes you appreciate a little bit of what you had. But um, yeah, for me this year, it was we were. This is the year of Disney, so we hit Disney now 3 times. We had season passes this year, so we did 3 trips to Disney, which was great. Kids loved it. And then we just got back from an anniversary trip to Disney, just Lauren and I. And also spent some time up here in Wisconsin with my family and my brothers, and my sister even was able to get here for the 4th of July, which was awesome. Just enjoying the ruralness that's up here. I love it. It's hard to believe that I grew up here and I have the life that I have now. So wouldn't trade it for anything. But Yeah, vacations are or family adventures, they're great in that, a lot of times you think, "Oh, I can't afford it," or, we really should prioritize other things. Although that's responsible and important, you're never going to get that time back with your family, and that one-on-one time building those memories is so important. Um, so for like a family vacation though, say you have somebody that's just not, um, they're like, man, I just can't afford it. What are some creative things that you can think of, Ryan, that are like very budget friendly, or things that you can do to create a family vacation or adventure that are good on the checkbook?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, like there's a staycation where you just stay local. Like we live here in Pensacola, and I've heard of lots of people getting a hotel room at Pensacola Beach for the weekend and just going there. And like you're not traveling far, so travel expenses are low. You can book whatever hotel room you want, but that doesn't have to be crazy expensive. And just overall, that whole trip ends up being way more affordable. You don't have to pack all crazy stuff or pay for check bags on an airline. I mean, it's just so much easier. If you really forgot something important, you can come back to your house and get it. So there's a bunch of pros to doing a
Yeah,
staycation and just staying local. That's one way to do it cheaper, but I mean, you can do it almost free too by like everybody, no matter where you're at, you probably live within 30 minutes or an hour of a national park, state forest, some kind of outdoor green space where you could go camp, you could go hang out for the day, like go to a river, go to a lake, go to the ocean, whatever. Um, just go have a picnic lunch and play outdoors. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy. It's
yeah,
just a little escape from your normal routine and reality.
yeah. I agree. One year for us too, when the checkbook is really tight and we're like, man, I don't know that we're going to be able to do it. We need to save money for this, that, whatever. Was we drove 3 hours north into Alabama and we stayed at a campsite that was nostalgic for me, where there was a archery shoot I used to go to when I was younger there. And we just rented one of the little primitive cabins. And that was definitely an adventure with two kids. So we did that, and, it rained a couple days, but when I asked the kids, what was something that you remember from that trip, they're like, "Oh, remember when that bad storm came through and you, took the gas stove," which I'm not saying this is a good idea, but we took the gas stove inside and we cooked hot dogs and stuff and did s'mores over a gas stove. And that's what they remembered, and
With
they'll
plenty of
probably
ventilation.
always remember that time when it stormed. Yes, yes, with plenty of ventilation, I cracked the window and all that jazz, so, but yeah, little silly things that you can incorporate into just being away from work and the busyness and being present with your family, um, those are the memories that are gonna be had for the rest of their life, so,
Yeah. I mean, earlier
yeah,
this year,
I think it's so important.
we both went and crewed and paced for our friend Mark on his 200-mile race that he was doing. And during that, my wife and kids, we all went and camped. Like it was super cold outside. It was way colder than we expected it to be, but we drove and we camped. And then I went and paced for Mark, and that was a very inexpensive trip. It was just fuel, food, and a campsite. I mean, we already have a tent and sleeping bags and everything, so it was pretty minor. But and it wasn't like a glorious 5-star vacation either. It was camping and it was super cold and miserable to some extent, but those make the best memories. Like my kids are going to be talking about how they froze to death at night um, for a long time, and it was just it made good stories, made for a lot of fun. It was frustrating at certain times, but it's an adventure. Like you said, it's not even a vacation; it's a family adventure, and that's what we went on. And we didn't spend very much doing it
Yeah,
because we didn't have very much to do that and do other vacations this year.
100%, yeah. So if you are listening to this and you're like, man, I've talked to so many people too that have, when it comes to vacations, like it has been, I can't remember last time we went on a vacation. It just almost makes me sad because, like, you don't need to do these extravagant ordeals, like going to Disney this year. We were blessed and had a little extra money to be able to do that. But um, and buy the season passes. But like, you don't have to do these big extravagant trips. Just take the time off of work. Almost every employer gives you a few days off. So take the time off of work and go prioritize your family and just detach from the busy 9 to 5 that you currently are in and go just be present with your family. They're going to remember those times more than they're going to remember you working every single day to provide, which is important. You need to do that. But it is so beneficial to the family unit to go spend time alone and together.
And for your marriage. I mean, like when Sydney and I went to Hawaii, we were planning an anniversary trip already this year. We just weren't sure exactly where we were going to go, and uh, honestly, we just got super blessed, and we're lucky to find very cheap plane tickets to Hawaii. So we said, why not? We'll make it happen. But taking that trip, just the two of us, was refreshing and fun, and like brought back memories of our honeymoon and like times before kids. Not that I don't love my kids and love spending time with
Yeah.
them, but it's nice to
No.
go back and or recall what that was like without kids and just have fun, just the two of you. And it's good for you. It's good for your marriage. It's like having a date night, but for multiple days in a row. So I would highly recommend doing that for your marriage's sake, for your family's sake. I mean, we came back and I feel like we're a even better team for our kids since that little reset. So
Yeah.
do it. Take the crazy trip. You know, maybe things are more within reach than you think. I asked Sydney where she wanted to go, just out of the blue. Like she wants to go see all the national parks, and I was like, if you could go anywhere, where would you go? And she said Hawaii, and I was like, you're crazy, you're nuts. Um, but
Yeah.
started looking at
Mhm.
flights, and if we shifted our vacation a couple of days one way, there was really cheap plane tickets, and I was like, hey, this is actually possible. So you never know until you try.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to look into the crazy stuff and try.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. When it comes to in lieu of vacation, I think too creating the space or the time uh where you can just be present, I think is really I think the priority here when we talk about vacation. Um, the recent thing that I saw was don't call it vacation, call it a family adventure because, as soon as you get back from your vacation, you feel like you need another vacation. I think that most of us can say that. But why is that? When I saw that video, I'm like, I think that it's because we make our vacations busy. It has taken a lot of intentionality on my part to enjoy a vacation to where I'm actually like the one I'm on right now. I have spent more time sitting on the back deck looking at a soybean field for like 2 hours at a time and with a cup of coffee in my hand, and the kids just run around and play. And I'm okay with that. Like, we don't have to be doing something every single waking moment. Um, and so just that space of being still. And I think it's also, the Bible is very clear about that too, is just being still and listening and being intentional in that stillness. Is just something
Mm,
that's rejuvenating about that.
yeah, I have a really good example of that. Last year, or a couple of years back, we went on a big road trip across the U.S. We drove, from Florida across Texas all the way up to the Grand Canyon, and then we drove north up to Yellowstone and Glacier National Park, and then all the way back home. And it was this big 2 week long road trip, and we had been saving for it and planning for it for a long time. But in all that planning, we left space. Like we planned, I'd say
Mhm.
80% of the trip out and said, we want to be, or we have to be in this place at this time because we're going to go ahead and book a hotel room, or this place we're going to book an Airbnb for the night. And, we want to be at this place this time. But there was about 20% of the trip that we didn't plan to a T. We just said like, hey, wherever we get to driving is where we'll stop. Whatever we want to do there, we'll do. And that little bit of freedom that we left in the schedule left so much room for fun. And like one example,
Yeah.
we ended up driving into Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we were like, "Hey, let's stay here for the night." So Sydney found a place to stay, and we were looking around for things to do. And there was this little gondola like thing that went up to the top of a mountain nearby. I didn't even know Albuquerque had mountains nearby, but it does. They're like 10,000 foot high.
Yeah.
So we ended up taking this little gondola up to the top of the mountain, and then found out there's a restaurant up there, and we ate dinner there. And like, had we planned what we were going to do in
That's cool.
Albuquerque, where we were going to eat, and everything. None of that stuff would have happened because we happened to see it on a sign at the rest area before we got there. So we didn't even know that this stuff was a
Yeah.
possibility until we got there and we had flexibility in our schedule to go do the fun things and make the really cool memories. And it ended up being one of the highlights of our trip, like watching the sunset while eating dinner on top of a mountain. It was so cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great example of just leave time in the schedule for for just nothing. Just keep it open, see what happens, and just let it play out. Um, One other topic that I wouldn't mind hitting on and kind of came to mind as we were talking about just vacation in general. Something that Lauren and I, when we first got married, that we said that we would always try to do, regardless of what the checkbook looks like, regardless of what finances look like, is every year we are going to do some type of anniversary trip where we can retreat for a minimum of 24 to 48 hours. A couple years it was really tight and we had a hard time finding people to watch the kids. So we just, did like a 24-hour date essentially where you can completely get away from everything, and just be together and really try to prioritize your marriage. Too often I'm seeing, um, people that have the couples have their kids, their whole life is wrapped around their kids, but they don't take time to prioritize them. And then when the kids leave, then they're not left with then they're like, now what? And so it's so important to protect, guard, and pour into your marriage. So, regardless of what the checkbook looks like, you need to take time off of work. I know you have leave in your leave bank. If you don't, you probably didn't use it wisely. And go spend time with your wife, get away, find somebody to watch the kids, and just go be together because that time is so valuable. And it's like, hey, how you been? uh, I feel like I haven't
Well,
talked to you in forever. And then there's no distractions. You have no excuses
yeah.
and you can just really prioritize that time with your wife.
Yeah. And if you really want to test your marriage, make that trip 17-hour flight. That's a great way to reconnect.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Is that how long it took to get to Hawaii?
Yeah, yeah. 17 hours of flight time.
Okay. Very good. Oh,
Oh, but it was
beautiful.
awesome. We both we love
So,
flying, and yeah, it was just a bunch of fun.
that's awesome. So anyway, take the vacation, take the trip. Don't worry about the money. You can make more when you get back and just prioritize family time because that's what we are all about here at Suffer Up. We are constantly trying to pursue the best versions of ourselves, and it aligns with our mission statement of we try to help others find purpose in whatever hardship or suffering they're in, and we strive to help others level up in life with an emphasis on spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. So embody that, take the trip, strike the check, and just make it happen because you will never get that time back. And if you are listening to this and you're like, man, I have not done vacations with my family, well, now is a great time to start. It is not
Yeah.
too late till the kids go back to school. So plan a fun weekend. Go do something fun. Just get away from work. Work will be fine without you for a couple days, and just go take care of what you need to take care of, and put that family first.
One last point I'd like to throw out there is that your kids don't need any more stuff. They don't need any more things or games on their tablet or Xbox or whatever. Like, instead of buying your kids stuff for their birthday or Christmas, if money's tight and it's like we can only get you a Christmas present, like you can't go someplace. I don't know, just either way, they don't need more stuff. So talk to your kids as they get older, it's easier. But talk to them and say, where would you like to go? If you could go somewhere, where would you want to go? And let them kind of pick.
Yeah.
My daughter, for her birthday, instead of getting more stuff, she wants to go to a water park nearby. And we're like, heck yeah, let's go to the water park for the day. Yeah, it's a 1 day thing. It's not going to be a crazy like vacation, but it's going to be a family adventure for the day. It's something that she wants to do. And we're not filling up her room with more useless junk that's going to get thrown out next year or lost or, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's, it's making memories instead of making more waste.
100%. That's really good for sure. The stuff will come and go. If your kids are like mine, they play with it for 6 months and then it goes in the bottom of the bin and then they don't touch it anymore. So, and when you put it in
Yeah.
perspective,
Get the
like that one
grandparents on
toy, you're
board.
like, wow, yeah, yeah, exactly. Have them pour the money into a Roth IRA or something. We'll talk about that at a different episode. But
There you go. Investing.
and
Yeah.
when you put it in perspective, yeah, when you put it in perspective though, one toy, say it's a $25 toy, you're like, wow, that was an hour and a half of my time away from them just to buy that one toy. Uh, it kind of like puts it in perspective of what that toy is. So, and does the toy bring joy or does it take time or rob time from them? So, yeah, that's really good,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Wouldn't you rather buy time back with your kids instead of buying them a toy? Buy some time
Yeah,
away with them to go make those memories at a water park or at an amusement park or at a dang arcade, whatever, or out in the woods camping.
yeah,
Yeah, buy that time back.
yep,
Don't buy stuff.
yep, 100%. It reminds me of that country song that talks about the little boy and he's asking his daddy, like, how much money would it take to basically
Oh
buy
yeah.
your time so you don't have to go to work? And every time I listen to that song, it reminds me of like work matters because you have to provide for your family, but you're gonna be okay. Just be good stewards of what God's given you, and take the trip, take the vacation. I'm not saying just go, frivolous and just blow the bank and we'll worry about it when we get home. I don't think you're being a good steward with your money, but um, prioritize it, budget for it, and if you can't make it happen this year because you're like, wow, I haven't really prioritized this, start saving now. Save you up, a couple $1,000s, and go do the trip and spend the money. So yeah,
There
very
you go.
good. Well, thanks guys for tuning into this
Love it.
episode of the Suffer Up Podcast. Before we close out, though, we do have an announcement that we're going to continue to drive home. Applications are live and open for our Unbreakable Purpose that is happening on September 5th, a 24-hour wilderness leadership course where we will take you through a bunch of leadership scenarios that will challenge you both mentally, physically, and spiritually. This is for men only and we're very excited about it. We're going to have some guest speakers there. You will be challenged in all three of our pillars. If you would like to apply for this, the link for it will be in the link tree, which is below this podcast episode. Application window is open until the first week of August, and so please get your applications in. We will be hand selecting a max total of 16 applicants and then we will notify you shortly after your application. So we're really excited about it. If you'd like to learn more about it, there's an episode on it. You just go scroll down through the Suffer Up podcast channel. There is about a 12-minute episode that you can listen in and get the full scoop on what we will be
Episode
doing. Obviously, we
66,
can't
I
divulge.
believe.
Thank you. Episode 66. So listen to episode 66 if you'd like to participate. And we get your application in. So we'd love to have you. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning into
All we
this
got,
episode of the
guys.
Suffer Up Podcast. What's that? Sorry.
Said that's all we got, guys.
That's all we got. Thanks again, guys, so much for tuning in. We love you all. And as always,
We're up.